Before we get going, just want to let you guys know that there's going to be some spoilers in this, like...
Ton of spoilers.
Literally an infinite war amount of spoilers. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Next Gen Media. Here at Next Gen Media, we generate media after it's... I still don't have a slogan, so can we just roll the intro?
Are you sure? We should have a slogan.
Just roll the intro! So Avengers Infinity War came out and I saw it last Saturday. So by the time this gets uploaded, I'm pretty late on uploading this, but I wanted to give feedback on, you know, kind of how I felt about it and how, most importantly, it completely changes the formula of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the type of tone and experience that we're used to receiving and feeling by the time we leave the theater. Part of what makes this movie so interesting is, of course, Thanos. Thanos is...
Hey Matt, I found out about this Thanos website, and apparently it tells you if he kills you.
My man Jack, thanks so much for helping me out. I have such good friends. It looks like you're about to die though and get disintegrated.
I don't feel very good.
So AJ, is there anything else that you could add?
Thanos is a deranged, delusional idealist who became so obsessed with doing what he thought was right that he didn't see that he was causing the same kind of pain and devastation that happened to his people and his planet.
Oh, okay, so he's a real piece of shit then?
Real piece of shit.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks, AJ. Taryn, anything else that you could add to this?
So Thanos is the only villain that's really made me question my own existence. Which frankly is hard because he's not real. But here we are.
Thanos is the lilac giant.
I think Thanos is a much deeper villain than your run-of-the-mill comic book villain. His motives are actually well-intentioned, putting aside the fact that they're genocidal. He wants to bring balance to the universe in a completely random way because he thinks it's the only way to ensure the safety and longevity of the universe. The execution, no pun intended, is psychotic, but it shows he has a very dark and twisted empathy and compassion for the universe. XD. And that's all I have to say about Avengers Infinity War. That's not good enough. I need help. Kevin, come here. All right, ready? Kevin!
Oh, hey, Matt. Did you get a new haircut?
I did.
Hey, YouTube. It's me. It's Matt.
Oh, no, it's Kevin. Almost.
Next time.
So, yeah, I was trying to talk about Avengers Infinity War
Right.
and how it kind of changes things in terms of the MCU and the typical formula that they go for. And I was only talking for like 30 seconds, and then I just kind of ran out of things to say, and I needed help. You think you can help me with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Sweet. Have you seen it or no?
Not yet, but I've thought about it a lot. So I guess the first thing that I would mention that this movie does differently than other
I said
films.
that already, actually. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
The first thing this movie does differently is in the first scene in New York where Tony Stark and Doctor Strange and Bruce Banner and Wong are all meeting and having this really funny conversation about also the end of the world. And then all of a sudden the mood changes when Tony Stark notices that there's a wind blowing. And they walk outside and we have no idea what's going on, they have no idea what's going on, but all we see is chaos when they walk outside. And from there it's like we learn what they're learning about the threat that's coming. And typically in MCU movies, the hero knows what's coming. And you can see it in a wide scope. But for this particular film, the hero's actions were driven by Thanos' decisions instead of the heroes having any agency of themselves.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what I said before you came. Actually,
okay,
word
yeah.
for word. And you haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, nope, still.
Yeah, no, I agree. Everybody's just kind of blindsided by what's to come. Right. Like, I feel like even like towards the beginning when Loki says like, you know, we have a Hulk, and then Hulk comes, I feel like I'm used to seeing Hulk like wreck shit. Like when you say like we have a Hulk, it's like, all right, here we go. Hulk's gonna fuck shit up. And then Hulk comes and Thanos takes him out.
Immediately, within seconds. We talked about this not on camera when Loki dies very unceremoniously. It's not like this slow motion,
Yeah.
like majestic death. It's just like his
That made it
neck.
more powerful.
Yeah,
too.
the fact that it was just like it meant
was
nothing
easy.
to Thanos.
Exactly. And Loki has been such a powerful threat. If you think back to the Avengers and Thor and stuff, and how powerful he was and how hard he is to take down. He's died multiple times.
Yep.
But he's come back to life, and I mean, this time it felt real.
Yeah.
And I think, just like Thor said to, who was it, Rocket? Like, I think he's actually dead this time.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was real this time.
Yeah. If you think about this movie's relationship to the other movies, not just, its continuation, but at the end of Thor Ragnarok, which was a comedy, which is very different tonally from this movie.
Yeah.
Thor has just finally, after 3 movies, accepted his role as King of Asgard. He's saved his people. He's come to the realization that he needs to save his people, not his planet. And that's such an amazing end point for his arc. But then that 30 seconds later, half of them are dead.
Everything that happened in Thor Ragnarok doesn't really matter.
Yep.
That's crazy. And just like in another thing where it's like, it's not like this slow motion dramatic thing. It's like just done.
Yeah,
like
they were dead before the movie started.
Let's just go to New York now. It's nuts. It's crazy.
It really is.
It's crazy. And just like the amount of deaths that happened, I almost thought when I was watching it that Vision wasn't gonna die, because in the trailer they show that scene with like the thing like going into his, but that happened towards the beginning and he ended up surviving that. So I was like, maybe they're tricking us and Vision doesn't actually die.
Right.
But not only does he die, but he brutally dies twice.
That was something. I mean, yeah, when you see Shuri working on him, okay, she's smart, and she just imply that she's smarter than both Bruce Banner and Tony Stark. She's gonna it's gonna be fine. They're gonna save him, and then maybe Thanos will get the Infinity Stone, but Vision will be fine. But no, we have to watch him die. One excruciating,
So bad.
heartbreaking
It's
death,
so long too.
and then immediately erase, and then just a brutal legs go limp. He turns gray. It's
Poor guy.
Yeah.
It's a tough way to go.
it really. I wouldn't want to go that way.
And on a similar note, I feel like the biggest difference between all the other MCU movies, not all of them, but most of them, and this one, is villains, because I feel like in a lot of movies the villains kind of take the back seat. If you think about Thor Ragnarok, Helena, right? She didn't really have that big of a role. In Doctor Strange, Dormammu, right? He had such a small role overall in the movie.
Yeah. Last 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ronan.
The Accuser.
He was a pretty lame villain overall, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he could have been so much better, because Lee Pace did a great job at making him seem, like a threatening fanatic, but in the end he didn't accomplish much other than knocking Drax 10 feet back.
This is just, it almost feels like the opposite, in the sense that this is the villain's movie. Almost in a way, the main character and his conflict are the heroes who are getting in his way, who he overcomes.
Yeah, he has a fully realized arc, where Thor has probably the most realized arc of any of the Avengers, where he gets Stormbreaker and then comes to Wakanda, which is one of the coolest scenes ever.
I know, I love that scene.
But each Avenger has a small arc, whether it's Tony and Doctor Strange and the Guardians and Spider-Man, Captain America going to Wakanda and trying to save Vision. It's just very small arcs, but it all contributes to Thanos' larger arc. So I completely agree with you. It's Thanos' movie.
Yeah.
The heroes are just in the way.
Yep. Yeah, and it just I always, when a Marvel movie ends, I feel so happy. I feel yes, the hero won, the hero did it. Let's see what happens in the post-credit scene. Let's watch some awesome visuals pop up on the screen while the credits roll and stuff.
Not some sad cello.
Oh my god, I was so depressed by the time it ended.
Even the post-credit scene, which I was it did end, that last frame fills you with a little bit of hope, which I think is interesting, because most post-credit scenes are just teasers.
Yeah.
But this was a teaser and also a little added bit of hope to the story, which I think was really cool. But
and in some ways, the post-credit scene almost has the opposite effect, in the sense that it's more danger's coming.
Yeah.
In the end of the Avengers, and that's oh shit, here we go.
When he's really purple.
Yeah, when he's super, super purple. And in this movie, it's no, we have hope with Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Which is a movie I'm very excited for.
Me too. I want to talk about Spider-Man, because I love Spider-Man. So when he first appears with the suit, I was oh, that's awesome. He can't breathe, and then Tony sends it out. He's oh, Mr. Stark, it feels like a new car in here. And I didn't expect the legs to pop out at all, to be honest, because in the comic books, Tony Stark builds the Iron Spider suit for him, and the legs pop out and everything.
During the Civil War storyline.
Exactly, yeah. But from the way the suit looks from the trailers and stuff, it looks more like the worldwide suit.
Yeah,
and it's like, you know, a lot more blue. So I thought it was going to look more like that. But then, no, the legs popped out, and I was like, oh, damn. So we do got the Iron Spider here. That was pretty
It was
cool.
very cool to see. Because, you know, one of my biggest reservations going to Civil War was Spider-Man's a huge part of it.
Exactly, so big, because he plays both sides.
Exactly. And since he's only been introduced in Civil War, they couldn't like break out all the stops with him, which I was a little upset about. Like, just as a comic book fan, it would be cool to see the Iron Spider, seeing him fight Captain America with it on.
Yeah.
But obviously they couldn't do that. I'm glad they didn't, because Spider-Man's perfect in Civil War.
Thank you.
Yeah, we don't really need to start a conversation.
Okay. Captain? Big fan of Spider-Man?
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Just
Hey, everyone.
good job.
Spider-Man is such a funny character. That's who he is. And with the way it ends, I didn't see that coming at all. I expected it to almost be the opposite way, where we see Tony Stark die in the arms of Spider-Man.
Yep.
Like, after he gets stabbed, I was like, here we go. Tony Stark's gonna die, and Spider-Man's gonna hold him in his arms. It felt very different than that. And his death, it was a 15-year-old kid just asking his mentor just to save him. Like, he doesn't want to die. It's so depressing.
And the fact that those lines were improvised by Tom Holland is just, it's remarkable that he, to turn him from the comic relief, as you said, into the most emotional twist that I've seen in an MCU movie was really remarkable.
I know, I was crushed.
Yeah. The movie, I was expecting Spider-Man would like face this imminent death, this like really dramatic, like Thanos is about to kill him, and Tony Stark is like, oh no, like take me instead. And that's how like that arc would end. But seeing Spider-Man die and Tony Stark's, you heard me, that entire like 30-second period where Black Panther was picking up Okoye and died, and then Spider-Man, like I was like
so depressing.
The loudest gasp I've ever gasped.
In fact, like a pretty much 100% chance they're going to come back.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going into this movie expecting those kind of deaths. I was expecting, Captain America to die, Thor to die. They've had trilogies. They've had their time. It's time for them to make a sacrifice for these heroes. But we're not going to see that. If we do see that, it's going to be in Avengers 4, probably.
Yeah. And the fact that these deaths, just like Loki's, weren't dramatic. They weren't like, oh, like end of the world. Well, it was the end of the world, but it's not like slow motion, like I'm gonna punch you until like you explode or something.
Blood gushing everywhere.
Like I can like fight to save you. There's nothing you could do. They're just from that first like Steve.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Just.
Yeah, it's so sad because they were like in motion. You know what I mean? Like they were like trying to walk over to them, and then they would just crumble. It's like shit. What? That depressed me even more. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Because there's nothing you could do about that. Like.
And then you have Spider-Man, who's like the opposite, who feels it coming on. And one thing Taryn said about this is that the reason why that probably happened is because of his spider sense. Maybe he was feeling it coming on, because he can predict that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like the first movie where they really emphasize that he has a spider sense that alerts him of danger. Like when he's on the bus and his hairs on his arm go up. This is like the first time where they show like, yes, he has a spider sense that warns him of danger.
And he was also the first one to know when the Guardians were coming.
Yes, exactly. And there we go. I mean, I feel like that definitely could have been his spider sense.
Mantis also sees it coming, but to a lesser extent. That Spider-Man has a few, 30 seconds maybe. Mantis has 5 seconds that she sees it coming. And that makes sense because she's an empath, so she can feel things.
Yes.
She could feel like things, like the feelings of things going on around her.
Exactly.
So I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good way to go, Taryn.
Yeah, good job, Taryn. Thumbs up from Next Gen Media. I feel like in a lot of MCU movies, I'm not bored when I'm watching them, but there's always like points that just feel a little bit slower, and it feels like, all right, I just want to wait to see like what's gonna happen next.
Like the farm or the cave.
Exactly.
In Ultron, yeah.
In this movie, it's nonstop.
Yeah.
Whether it's like depressing or funny or
Yeah.
Do you think that the humor in this movie worked, or did you think it was like too much and they were just trying to keep it the same basic formula?
Keep it light. So I was afraid, because it's an MCU movie, so obviously they're not gonna go like DCEU, like super dark, super like somber all the time. But this is Infinity War, so it's huge stakes. So I was afraid that the humor would undercut it, but I think that it worked really well. And the instance where I think it worked, where it like highlights how well it worked, was with the scene with Thor and Rocket. Thor is explaining how he's lost all these people. He's not saying it like, oh, like I'm so sad. He says it kind of matter-of-factly, like, you can see there's real pain in his eyes.
Yeah.
But he's just trying to keep it light, because he knows there's a job to do. The movie kept it light, knowing the stakes were there.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
keep it light so you don't get bogged down, because you know there's a job to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt that way too. I didn't feel like it was jumping in where it shouldn't have been. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like when people were dying, it's not like, you know, people are like joking about it or making like stupid comments. I mean, which would be ridiculous anyway, but I'm saying, like, I felt like it was there when it should have been. Like Drax with the pretzels and stuff. that like cracked me up.
That was hilarious.
One scene that I want to talk about is when Star-Lord and they have this plan, and Spider-Man is helping get that gauntlet off, and he pretty much has it all the way off. Yep. And Star-Lord starts coming up to him. People are telling him, like, stop, man, stop. And he punches him in the face and fucks up everything. Yeah. I get it, right? Like he killed this girl, he killed Gamora, and there's a lot of pain there. I was so annoyed, though, because I'm like, they have the gauntlet off. Yeah. And why didn't Doctor Strange, who had the Time Stone, rewind time and then just put Star-Lord in some, like, never-ending loop, just falling until they can get the plan done? And I know, like, you know, like Doctor Strange said there's only one way and all that.
The one way out of the 14 million or whatever. Yeah, that was the first response I was going to have to that. The second was going to be, when I first saw that, I was just like, Star-Lord. Like, I could kill you.
Fuck you.
But then I remembered, like, he doesn't just exist in this movie. And this was a kid who was kidnapped from home when he was 8 years old, who made this new family and fell in love with this green alien, and has all these incredible trust issues because he grew to love his dad, and turns out that his dad killed his mom, so he had to kill his dad, and lost his surrogate father in the process. And it's also been established that he's a very hot-headed character. Yeah. So it's
fitting.
It's fitting for his
when you know him. It's fitting.
Like I'm less angry at him, but I agree. Like
I agree with that.
Assuming Doctor Strange isn't playing some long game, like why didn't he just be like, nah?
Nah, fuck you. We almost got this stuff.
Well, you could say the same thing about Thor though. At the end of the movie, where he
axe to the chest.
Yeah, when he takes the axe to the chest, because I don't think that he just happened to aim for the chest. I think he did it on purpose so that he could go up to him and be like, I'm taunting you. I told you you're gonna die. Feel pain.
You know, it says, like, you should have went for the head. I think that means something. I mean, it means that he fucked up, but I also think that it means that by the fourth one, I think that that's going to be actually a key.
You think they're going to go for his head?
I think they're going to go for his head.
I know there are theories going around about Doctor Strange and Ant-Man introducing the quantum realm and that being really important, but I'm really excited to see what the Soul Stone and the Soul Realm will bring to the table, because that's the only Infinity Stone that we have no idea what it does.
And I kind of want the Soul Stone to be important, but I don't want it to be the answer to everything at the same time. You know what I mean?
This build-up that this movie has brought deserves more than just a simple, like, we got to get this item and, like, it'll fix everything.
Exactly.
You know, I think the Russo brothers are in tune to what the audience deserves and also what they can bring to the audience that'll really shock them, like the end of this movie did. Yeah. So I don't think it'll be something just like, oh, everyone's safe and Thanos is dead. I think we informed the audience pretty well of our opinions. I'd say. I think uninformed because I still haven't seen it. Oh, because you still haven't seen it, right. I think I touched on most of these points in a minute before you came. I think I touched on pretty much all of them. Yeah, I don't know why you needed me. I appreciate you reinforcing them. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So, actually, I'm sick of you, so... That's gonna be so hurtful. I'm gonna have to edit that, but that's gonna be so hurtful. Bye, next year, media. Alright. It's recording now. Oh, shit! Oh, get ready, go! Hey, YouTube. I'm Kevin. Welcome to Next Gen Media, where we take your Gen Media and make it next. Oh, shit.
Hey YouTube. So, to answer the question, Matt is just a really goofy guy. You know?
That's hurtful. Okay.
Almost a little weird, to be honest with you, but pretty funny. You know, almost makes up for it, I guess.
This is about Thanos, though, from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah.
I thought I was answering these questions.
Nope, it has nothing to do with me. It's 100% about Thanos.
Hold on.
What do you think of Thanos? What do you think of Thanos?
It's great. I love it.
Can you explain what Thanos is? Or whom it is?
a person.